Hi everyone, it's me, Krylios, Team Rayceen Productions co-host and moderator. Joining me today is Milik Kashad. Welcome.
Hello, how are you?
I am doing well. How are you?
I'm doing great. It's cold here, but I'm good.
Awesome. Well, it is fabulous to have you here with us today. And the way how I love to kick things off is having you just let our audience know who you are by talking a little bit about your background and experience. So I'll give you the floor.
You already introduced me. I'm Milik Kashad. I'm originally from Charlotte, North Carolina. I now make my home in New York. I'm a multidisciplinary artist. I started my career as a performance artist, so I got trained in singing and in dancing, and then around about the age of 18, 19, I called myself retiring. um, took a break. I took a break, and then I got into camera work, so photography and film, and that's what I do a lot of now. Um, and then in the interim, I have a YouTube channel. It used to be called I Love Aretha Franklin, but now it's called Black Music Archive, where I bring a lot of legendary or legacy artists on with the intent to introduce them and connect them with younger audiences so they can get new fans, but also younger people can be introduced to, music history and things like that. So yeah.
Awesome. Thank you for that. Now, when it comes to your photography, what kind of subjects really stand out to you that, that make you want to capture? And what kind of themes do you like to explore when, it comes to you behind the camera?
Me behind the camera, yeah, I don't know. I don't know. I really wish I had a deep answer, like most artists. But I would generally say that everything I do comes from music. So,
Mm.
so for example, like whether it's a picture of, like a self-portrait of me, like the one you just showed, or a picture I've taken of someone else, it usually starts with a song. So like, um, I'll be like, I'll hear a song and it will sit in the back of my mind, and then I'll see like some garments somewhere. I'm like, oh,
Mm.
I like this. I like this outfit. And I'm like, oh, it reminds me of this song that I heard. And then like I find the setting or whatever. So like the picture you just showed of me in front of the painting, if I recall correctly, the song was I Look Good by Climax.
Mm.
um yeah. So that's what that was. So it's generally just based around music, and then everything else sort of just falls into place.
Oh, that is wonderful. And as you said, many of the things are based around music. And when it comes to your one of your short films, Respect Me, the Adiva story, tell me a little bit about that and why you wanted to cover, house music pioneer Adiva.
Because I love her. But I mean, I initially when I moved to New York in November of 2019, I moved right before the pandemic. But I had graduated from film school.
Hmm.
And people make those promises when you're in school that you're going to leave with a job or whatever, and things don't necessarily work out that way for most people. But I was like, okay, I'm going to move to New York and I'm going to connect with these artists and offer like to do videos or pictures and things for them. That way I can get my way into the industry, make the necessary connections, and hopefully that leads into something bigger. So with the diva, I had discovered her in like 2014 or 2015. I really, really liked her. And then I just so happened to find out that she lived in North Carolina. That's where I'm originally from. And so I was like, oh my God, this is my shot. This is my chance to like kick off this idea of doing things for artists for free and then like seeing how that goes. So I somehow found her. I found like a contact for her. And then they set that up and we got it done like a week like a week before I moved. Um, so and it was going on, it was up from there. You know, she got like a big increase in her streams on Spotify. And people were calling her from all around the world that she said hadn't called her in years, you know, trying to do things with her. So um yeah, that I was very, very proud of that. Still one of the most proudest things that I've done.
I love that. I love that. And your love for music led you to create Black Music Archive on YouTube, as you mentioned before. And, you are capturing and archiving, so many wonderful performances and, videos that many people have never seen before, on the Black Music Archive YouTube channel. Talk to me about Black Music Archive, and because you said you started out as dedicated to Aretha Franklin, and then eventually it just evolved. How did this evolution happen from just it being dedicated to Aretha Franklin to really capturing so many music stalwarts on the channel?
Um, how did it start? So I don't know how long you've been on YouTube, but you probably know the YouTube today is not what the YouTube was like when we were growing up.
Exactly,
So
yeah.
YouTube back then, when I was I Love Aretha Franklin, it was more of a social network, I guess you could call it, and video was sort of kind of secondary. I would say it maybe you can say like a Facebook or a Twitter, somewhere like with that, but with video. And so like um because you could DM people on YouTube at one point in time. But
Mhm.
I started I Love Aretha Franklin, and because it was a community, I used to get bullied a lot in school, but because of like my music taste or because I did I sang and I danced and I did all of those things. And so I was I Love Aretha Franklin on YouTube because it was a community and it was a community of people who liked the kind of music
Mhm.
that I liked or who understood whatever it was. And so I just kept that name because that was like my Twitter handle, if you want to call
Mhm.
it that. It's no different than like someone Twitter being, Minaj Stan or something.
Yeah.
So I kept that. And so, and as YouTube changed, or as like how old was I back then? I was maybe like I had just started high school or maybe just finished middle school, but I was very young. So, and as you know, YouTube changed or whatever. I didn't change the name, but like once you become to like an artist, you find out artists they've influenced or their contemporaries or things like that. Aretha Franklin has been my favorite singer since I was like 7, 8 years old. But as
Mhm.
I got older, started making connections. Well, okay, so this is where she gets her sound from, and this is that, this is this, this is that, this is this. And then I
Mhm.
had the prior music training that I was telling you about. So I was able to make all of these connections. And so within the past maybe year or two, like YouTube is getting a lot stricter on copyright, but also I connected with some friends. You may know her, Dion Warwick Archive. We're really good friends. And then I have a friend named Matt, and we're all young people, and we were among a group that were like among the last to get like music and arts education as part of the public school system. And so we were like, well, we need to share this education and expertise with, the not just the young people, but it's geared at the young people or just with people, period. Because education, but not just education, music education is very, very gate kept. So that's why um, I started to slowly transition into the educational realm. But also, it was the pandemic, so I wasn't able to connect with those artists like how I did with the diva, like I
Mhm.
was. And I wasn't really finding a job in film. And so I was like, okay, well, this allows me to still be involved in music, still utilize my documentary film skills or whatever, and then I can educate people, which is all and reconnect them and connect audiences, which is everything that I want to do. And so that is what caused the shift into like the Black Music Archive. And plus it's also like you know, just showing that we've always been present in all of these music spaces, even in what people call white music, we've always been present. So that's why it's
Present.
called that.
Mm.
Yeah.
Certainly. And what's the response been like? One of the great things is that it has become a resource even for big media people, NBC, Peacock, MGM, all of that. What's that like? And what were those calls like, or the reaching out process like? To
Mhm.
say, okay, we wanted to use, this archival footage, or we wanted to use this as a resource. What were those conversations like?
Um, I mean, at first it starts off flattering. Actually, a network just reached out to me last week, and it starts off. I mean, if we're going to be transparent, it starts off nice. I mean, you're like, oh my God, you want to talk to me? You want to talk to me? But then again, it just ends up all of those, and like, the, we're just being honest here. Um, they they want me to like give them all of these answers to things, but they never actually want to bring me on to the project. So it comes out like they're asking essentially in a nice way for me to do the work for them.
Mm-hmm.
Like, so where did you find this? Can you tell us where we can find this? How did you get this? Or where do we look to find this? And it's like,
Mm-hmm.
well, mind you, your title for this project is archival producer. Do your job and archive. So, so, so I mean, it starts off flattering, but then it's just like, oh, they don't particularly value, or at least as it seems right now, value what I do enough to um, bring me into these spaces, into these conversations, or into these rooms. Um, and so, but outside of that, I would say the response has generally been positive for the most part. Um, Something else I've noticed is that, like, as I've gotten into like interviewing some of these stars, or, you realize, oh, so that's why things may not have gone for you the way that they have.
Yes, yes.
It's just like some of these people, you know, they're people at the end of the day.
Exactly.
And so I used to take it, and I still do take it personally sometimes because I am sensitive. But I'm just new to this journey of journalism, or if that's what it's called, in interviewing. But um, I was like, oh, they weren't nice to me, because some of them weren't, you know. But it's just like, but at the end of the day, we all have. You can catch me on a not so good day. You could say somebody might say that I'm not a nice
You're
person.
not exactly. That is true. That
So
is true.
so I've been practicing grace with that. But other than that, I would say the response has been pretty positive. Pretty positive.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Awesome. And of course, it must be great being able to, interview, some of these stars, being able to talk with them, being able to learn more about them from their own lips. Someone we've
Mhm.
both interviewed, you and I, is Martha Wash, actually. Who's been one of your favorite interviews, or one that stands out in your mind?
Who has been one of my favorite interviews? Um, hmm, I would say, um, hmm, the first one that comes to mind is actually, her name is Leona Mitchell. So a
Okay.
lot of people didn't know her. Um, she's an opera singer. She was called, everyone knows Leontine Price. So she was considered like the second coming of Leontine Price in the
Mhm.
mid 70s. Had a major career, but people for some reason don't remember her. But I interviewed her, chopped it up into the mini documentary, whatever. And we're actually friends. She calls me her friend. She checks in on me and things like that. I don't know. Uh, all my interviews have, I mean, yeah, I would say they've been, I don't, yeah, she's probably my favorite, but
All right.
all
I
of
love that.
them
I love
are
that.
good.
No, you know, you said education. A part of why you do this is being able to educate people, especially about music, music history, and all of that. When someone comes and checks out your work, what do you want them to walk away with? What feeling, what thought, what lesson? What do you want them to walk away with when they interact with your work?
It depends on what they're interacting with.
Mm,
So if it's like the Explained series, which is, probably the most popular thing on the channel, um, is to people just if it's the Explained series, which is the most popular on the channel, I would say the thing I want them to take away is that there's a lot that goes into music and there's a lot that goes into being an artist. You have political things, social things, you have personal things, you have all of these things that, you know, go into what we hear, how a person sings and all of that. It's not as simple as just walking on the stage and singing.
mhm,
Um, but on the other end, with someone like um with one of the interviews, so for example, Martha Wash, um, I personally feel like, a lot of people, at least from what I've seen, they just sort of hark on, her the lip sync scandal. This woman has had a over 40-year career. Her career should not be uh uh just summarized or be
mhm.
relegated to a couple people who decided to use her voice and not give her credit. And so like just let so things like that, or just some people like Leona Mitchell, who people have never heard of, like this person was here, they moved the needle, they did what they did, and they left a great impact. So it's those are the three things that
Awesome.
well, one of those three. If they leave with that, I'm cool.
Then you're happy. Okay, that sounds good. Well, how can people, connect with you, find out more about you, as well as, keep up with everything that you are doing?
I am Milik Kashad personally. My personal handles are all Milik Kashad on all social media channels. And then you have the Black Music Archive YouTube channel, and the Black Music Archive Instagram. And then there's Black Music Archive Live, which is where I put all the rare live performances, that some of these artists forgot they did or didn't even know existed. So, yeah.
Fabulous, fabulous. Well, Malik, thank you so much for joining me today. It has been such a pleasure. And, I look forward to chatting with you again. And everyone, the links will be in the description below, so you can go ahead and check that out. Thank you so much, Malik, for joining me.
Thank you for having me.
Viewers, please follow Team Rayceen Productions on all forms of social media and click around our YouTube channel. Check out our other interviews, blogs, forums, and more. But most of all, thank you for watching.